It is time once again for another SUI update video. This coin continues to be the most talked about cryptocurrency over in our VIP trading group, our Discord, and the comment section here on YouTube. People are constantly asking us to give them SUI updates, and I've been looking over the charts and noticed some pretty big things happening here over the last couple of days, last week and some change, that are massive indicators about the next great buy spot for SUI. So if you don't have enough in your bags yet and you want to make a lot of money on one of the greatest cryptocurrencies, the SUI or SUI coin as people call it, make sure to watch this video all the way till the end. And if you enjoy it, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. All right, let's go. Before getting into the details of today's video, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that is BloFin, the #1 exchange in the world right now for trading cryptocurrencies. If you want to make money and leverage trade these moves, but you don't want to hassle with a VPN, you don't want to have to KYC, there's no better option for you than the BloFin app right now. Go sign up with the link down below. There's hundreds of different trading pairs, and if you sign up with our link, you get free access to our VIP's trade setups, part of our channel. Not necessarily the chat or the one-on-ones or the Q&As, but you do get to see how we are trading the markets right now. Go sign up for BloFin right now down below. When it comes to SUI, this is continuing to be one of the hottest coins for good and bad reasons. Of course, over the last couple of weeks since the early April dates when almost all of cryptocurrency started bouncing to the upside, very few coins are outpacing SUI. However, last week it was hit with some pretty detrimental news when a hack on Cetus, the #1 DeFi protocol on SUI, gave it a little bit of bad publicity, and people began to wonder, is it time to take profit on SUI? Is it time to get out of it? Is the SUI bull market completely dead and gone? Well, while we've already made videos and content talking about why we don't believe that to be the case, and I am still extremely bullish on the long-term perspective of SUI, there are some things happening on the charts right now I want you to be aware of. We have talked before in previous videos that $3.30 could be a very interesting moment, a very interesting price action. And while that still will be probably one of my buy signals, another one is starting to pop up on the charts that I want you to know about. Before we get into those details, I want to refresh for any of you might be wondering, why are we still bullish on SUI? This is still one of the most exciting layer ones. It's a coin that VCs and institutions are heavily looking at to put their hard-earned money into. And for that reason, any coin that institutions want to buy, I think is a great solution for retail investors like you and me to get into as well. And we still are in the early days. So the amount of money we can make with SUI is still sitting in the range of 10 to 20x potential in this bull market. But you have to be brave. You have to buy the dips and not run from them. With that being said, let's get into the charts and talk about what is going on. Now, before I talk about how far back I think SUI could pull back, I want to make sure that you're very clear here. There is a formation at the moment that we are watching with some interest because SUI is kind of sitting in this zone of a falling channel. If I were to go to a smaller time frame like the 4-hour chart, these channels could end up breaking to the upside and making a larger move up. In fact, this one, if it were to break to the upside, would send the SUI price all the way back up towards $4.25. However, while that is technically a possibility, it's the larger time frames that I want you to be aware of. I'm not necessarily convinced that this price action will happen because at the moment, we're starting to see some major resistance come in here, even on the 4-hour chart. We just ran into not only the resistance level, we ran into a smart trail on the 4-hour chart. If you were to use Fibonacci tools and look for resistance levels, we just hit a pretty major level of the 0.382. And all of this corresponding with the fixed range volume profile, we're also running into a volume gap, which has worked historically as amazing resistance levels. So for this reason, even though this is a bullish formation, you want to remain hesitant about entering any longs before a breakout to the upside is confirmed. But on the flip side, we start to look out at the daily chart, and this is where the concern begins with me. Now, I've already told you about the daily chart sell signal that we got here a couple of weeks ago after getting bearish divergence, getting a red reversal dot, bearish momentum, negative money flow on the daily chart. We began to look at the targets on the daily smart trail from Luxalgo in the world of $3.30 to potentially down here towards 304. But we kind of focused on the higher range here. Well, today I'm seeing some things on longer time frames that are giving me reason to believe potentially $3, maybe even as low as back down towards 270 should be on your radar. I want to show you why. Let's go all the way up to the 3 daily chart here and look at this one. Now, this one missed me a couple of days ago, but here about 3 to 4 days ago, we did get a sell signal on the 3 daily chart. What am I talking about? That red reversal, that bearish momentum, and you can see right here that money flow after being positive is starting to curve to the downside. Not only are we seeing this on the 3 daily chart, we are also watching the beginning workings right now of the weekly chart doing this as well. Red reversal, bearish momentum, and negative money flow. Now, technically speaking, this is still up for debate because we can't confirm this weekly sell signal till the candle closes. That gray dot is on this current candle. If we were to finish the week off bullish and make our way back over $4, potentially we can avoid this weekly sell signal. But at the moment, what I was showing you on that 4-hour chart, what I'm showing you on the daily chart, it doesn't give it the greatest confidence that we should end the week on a bullish note. Instead, we're looking at this and we're saying, hey, potentially a pullback is in order before the next rally. And before you say, Tim, why are you so happy about this? Isn't this a bad thing that we potentially could see a pullback? Well, like I said in the beginning of the video, SUI has been one of the hottest altcoins over the last month and some change. This is one of the biggest gainers. If you go back to early April, it was up 150%. And whatever goes up at some point must come down. And unfortunately, the more explosively you go up, the harder you end up falling. I'm not predicting some colossal crash, but I am starting to say instead of just a target towards 330, I do believe $3 to potentially as low as 270 should be back on your radar. And one of the reasons why is because of very classic Fibonacci retracement. The 0.382 area is the one coming in here at about $3.01, but I also want to keep your eye around the 0.5 level. The reason this is significant is because on the daily chart, while the smart trail is here between $3.30 and $3, the 3 daily chart, which we have now seen a sell signal, that one is coming in here between that $2.72 and $3 area. So we're starting to see a zone, a pocket of key support. This sell signals that we're getting, while it's very common in bear markets to ignore sell signals, this one looks to be a little different. This one actually looks to be picking up steam. And when you compare this with recent sell signals, we're also getting, for example, over on the Bitcoin daily chart, where we're finally seeing a sign of weakness for the first time in several weeks, where we're seeing an official daily sell signal on Bitcoin with targets all the way back down here towards $103,000 to $102,000. This gives a little bit of leeway to say that the run for SUI, while it's not completely over in terms of a bull market run, this particular bull run, this particular trend does look like the days are coming to a close. A healthy correction back down to the 0.382 to 0.5 Fibonacci levels would make a lot of sense. You're also going to see when we turn on some other indicators from Luxalgo, we have a massive breaker block in this area as well, an equilibrium out on the weekly chart, that all of this is kind of coming together with confluence, saying that this zone is a massive support level for SUI, or SUI, however you pronounce it, when you're looking to move forward. So what do you do with this information? Well, ultimately, this isn't financial advice. I'm simply showing you what the charts would suggest. But for me, what I plan on doing with this is putting in 3 new DCA long orders here on SUI. Whereas last week, I wanted to start purchasing maybe closer here towards 340. All of a sudden, with this information, I'm going to put in 3 different buy zones. The number 1 zone, I'm going to keep here at about 330, just because there is a little bit of support in this zone, and it is where the daily smart trail begins. I want to make sure here at 330, I have the initial buying pressure. The second level I want to keep an eye on would be, again, down here towards $3, about $3 to $2.95, give or take, just because you want to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room there. And then just in case, even though I don't believe it's going to happen, I think that more than likely we stay around $3. I want to be prepared for a potential $2.70 pullback. If we drop much lower than this, I will want to get out of this trade and reassess if the bull run for SUI is still on. But all signs about the altcoin markets, all signs about crypto, where the economy is going, they're all saying that a bull market is still coming in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. And it's one that I firmly still believe will extend into the year 2026. But for right now, on these time frames, the daily, the 3 daily, and the weekly chart, we're seeing some potential trouble for the SUI coin that has exploded. A healthy correction, a healthy pullback is on the menu. Like I said, a lot of things are still possible moving forward, but if you are brave enough to take advantage of the dips when everyone else is freaking out, and believe me, if SUI starts to pull back towards $3, you will see plenty of X posts, YouTube videos calling for a bear market, saying that SUI is done. It's when you operate in that fear and buy anyway that you make the life-changing purchase decisions that make you money in the long run. SUI is still a coin that I see easily making at least itself up to $20, but potentially still a case at $50 before this bull market is all over. Imagine if you can scoop more of it up there at $3, you're looking at massive gains in your return. With that said, that's all I have for you in this video. Let me know in the comments down below, where are you buying SUI next, or are you selling all of it and running for the hills? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.